Greetings world. We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. Free higher education. Is it really for the poor? Late last year, the President of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma, announced free education for the middle class and poor in all public universities in South Africa. Now, of course, we could, successfully so, argue that this call was inevitable. After all, the #fees must fall protests had become a form of tradition for our universities, dating back to the year 2015. But now, what does this actually mean for our country? What does it mean for our poor? Are we finally transforming our higher education system to be more inclusive? As much as it may seem that way on the surface, I beg to differ. Free higher education will only benefit, if anyone, the middle class, and perhaps even a few of the rich who do not mind using crooked ways to beat the system. To my defense, I am not saying free higher education is entirely a bad thing. After all, we have seen in the news how students in the missing middle have been financially excluded because their parents should, on paper, afford to pay for them, but realistically cannot. This will be good for them. Now, I know that #fees must fall fellow students and faculty members will argue that financial aid loans are a tool that simply keeps the poor poor. Once a loan recipient graduates, they have a loan hanging over their head, which will take them years to clear. Perhaps I fully agree with that point. After all, it is more a fact than mere opinion. However, I would like to point out that, and this is a subjective view, the payback rate is not bad, especially considering that up to 60% of that loan can be converted into a scholarship, depending on the individual's performance. Now, getting back to the poor or lower class, it is really hard to find a poor, deserving student who applies in time and is denied a financial aid loan. The key word there is deserving, and it forms the pillar of my argument. The fact is, very few poor students ever qualify to even be in such institutions. Between me and you, how does free higher education benefit them? It will surely not increase their odds of qualifying to even get into these institutions. Using education to empower the poor is no doubt the only way to uplift our country's poor. But, to try and fix a problem at a tertiary level is not helping anyone, other than just advancing political agendas. Has our government not learned from its mistakes with the black economic empowerment policies? All that did was make a handful of black people ultra-rich, whilst denying the poor majority a chance to develop any skills, let alone accumulate any wealth. If we are not careful, this is where we are headed. Our primary and high school public schools are a disaster. The statistics of the number of children who actually make it with good enough grades to go into university is horrifying. If our government is any serious about improving the quality of life of the poor, the free higher education policy should be scrapped. This money should instead be channeled to improving the quality and accessibility of education to our poor, at primary and high school level.